All right, I am here for What's Good in Your Hood. I'm here with Nicole Molinaro. And Nicole Molinaro, you are with, I want to say you're with the Women's Center and Shelter of Greater Pittsburgh. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
And the Women's Center and Shelter of Greater Pittsburgh teaming up with Giant Eagle for domestic violence survivors.
Yeah.
Anyone not really thinking or close to the subject would be like, how random is that connection? But it makes absolute sense. Tell us why you all have teamed up and for domestic violence survivors, and why Giant Eagle was like the perfect plan for this initiative.
Absolutely. So unfortunately, we're seeing an increase in the severity and frequency of domestic violence during the pandemic. And this is actually not new. In other pandemics like Ebola and the Zika virus, we saw increases in domestic violence as well. And unfortunately, paired with that, because people are under stay-at-home orders, there's less of an ability to reach out for help. So you might be quarantined with your abuser.
Wow.
The person who abuses you might be monitoring you 24/7, and so you're less able to reach out for help. So when this first started, and we realized pretty much immediately that that was going to be the case, we started to brainstorm on who should we reach out to? What are the only places that victims may be able to get help? In their own home and in stores that are open. And so Giant Eagle, being so prevalent in the community and also such a great community partner, typically, we went to them and they instantly and very enthusiastically said, yes, we would love to help you reach out to victims and survivors of domestic violence.
So what are we expecting if I'm a person who is a victim of domestic violence and I'm at Giant Eagle and I see what?
Right, so you see a postcard that says home can be a dangerous place, particularly during the COVID-19 crisis. And on there are the phone numbers, chat, and text for all of the domestic violence programs in Allegheny County. So, and they're in each register in 42 Giant Eagles across the county. At every register, there is a little stack right where you would do the pin pad for your card, or where, if you kick it old school, you'd be writing out a check. Right there is where the cards are.
I'm sure that you brought this up in meetings. Not only do victims or survivors of domestic violence go to Giant Eagle to shop, the abuser goes as well. Yep. So, I mean, how is that handled if I'm a victim or a survivor and I see that and maybe I'm with my abuser, or how do we approach that?
Right. So really, even if we're just letting people know that they're not alone and that help is available, we are happy, because we know that if you are in a safe place to take a card, or if you're in a safe place to even snap a picture of a card, then that's fantastic. But if not, at least you know that there is help available. You know that domestic violence programs are all open and operating and here to offer help and hope. And hopefully can be safe to look up the phone number or the chat or text at a later time.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because you've started it, last week? So what's
we did the chat and text, yeah.
We just signed up. You just started this thing. So what's been the response?
Right, absolutely. So we originally were going to launch our chat and text hotline in the fall, end of summer, fall. But when the pandemic hit, we really wanted to make sure that we were giving those who were quarantined at home and unable to safely call another option to reach us through the text and through the chat, through our website. And so we've launched those 24-hour, 7-day-a-week services, and in addition to our hotline. And we've not even promoted it that much, and we've been getting texts or chats every day. Yeah, so we've been getting a good number of chats and texts, and from people in exactly the situations that we anticipated. They're at home, they're unable to call a domestic violence program, but they are able to safely use their phone. And then we're also, of course, anticipating younger people who might not want to make phone calls.
Right.
So many of us don't like making phone calls these days. So
right.
For safety or for any other reason.
We were introduced to more creative efforts around the Super Bowl time when you saw Domino's Pizza and the woman, or I don't know what pizza it was, pizza company, but where they called 911 and pretended to dial, call and order a pizza. I love that. I love the idea. I love the concept. It looks like you guys have this at 42 Giant Eagle locations.
We do, yes.
Wow. So what happens once someone makes the call or text? What happens next?
Oh, that's a great question. So really, anybody can call, chat, or text with us, whether you are wondering if you're in an abusive relationship or whether you are literally in fear for your life. And wherever you are, we will meet you where you are and help you achieve whatever goal you want. So in some cases, that means, how do I safely live in this relationship? In other cases, it's how do I do safe,
how do I get out?
Changes? And then in other cases, it's how do I safely get out? So safety planning is a huge service that we offer, and one that can literally save lives. But we're also there for emotional support, for information, for resources. And we're there not only if you're the one in the violent or abusive relationship, but we're there for family members and friends and neighbors. Because right now, with victims and survivors unable to reach out for help as much as they typically can, it really does take a village. So we really are relying on the community. If they are worried about somebody, you're worried about somebody, you can call into our hotline or chat or text. What do you know of the situation? And we can help to figure out ways to be able to safely contact and give that person some information.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to say, what if you have a victim that's not allowed outside, that can't go to the grocery store, and maybe they're online and they're watching this video, or they're listening. What's a phone number, a text number, anything?
Exactly. And that's the other piece of that, is that if they can't get out, the media coverage that we're getting from this is reaching into people's homes. So what you're doing is so critical.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Is there anything else you want to let our listeners know about this?
Just that they are not alone. If they're experiencing abuse, if they're wondering if what they're going through is abusive, please call and reach out for help whenever you can do so safely, because we are here. Most people don't actually need to go into shelter. Most people need other sorts of support. And that's what all of the domestic violence programs are open and operating, and that's what we're here for.
Thank you so much, Nicole Molinaro. She's with the Women's Center and Shelter of Greater Pittsburgh, teaming up with the Crisis Center North and Alle-Kiske Area Hope and Giant Eagle to help all those who are currently involved in a domestic violence situation. You are a victim, if you're a survivor, if you know someone that's going through this, there's information at thebeatpgh.com. Thank you so much for your time and the most appreciative information. It is so helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.